Prashant Kishor has created a storm recently after a lot of time, where in many interviews he said and seemed to be avoiding the exact details of the funding of the Jan Suraj party. He has now finally opened his cards, and this is very interesting because Prashant Kishor did a press conference a few days ago where he disclosed that through his consulting services, which is something he claimed to be doing for free a few years back and for many years actually, through his political consulting services, he has made over 241 crore rupees, either directly or indirectly, which have been paid as fees to organizations associated to him. He also claims he has paid about 30 crores in GST and some income tax. And the biggest one, of course, is that he has donated his own money, 98.5 crores. Get this, his own money of 98.5 crore rupees to his own party, the Jan Suraj party. And he has also challenged the central government, and he has challenged, of course, Ashok Chaudhary of the JDU and all the people in the Bihar cabinet who have been raising questions about his funding. I think what he has done is very smart. See, we need to dial back on Prashant's story to understand where he has come from and how he has managed to do this. In 2011, Prashant was working as a medical officer, a health officer with the UN. He was working in Chad, in Africa, in Western Africa, when he read a report from the then PMO, Dr. Manmohan Singh's PMO, which had written a report on malnutrition. In this report on malnutrition, they had written that uh, a lot of developing states were performing very badly on the malnutrition subject as a whole. So Prashant wrote a rebuttal to this, saying that it's not just the developing states or the poorer states that are performing badly, but in fact, a lot of richer states also are performing quite badly on malnutrition. And the one leading the rich state, quote unquote rich state, which was leading the bad performance on malnutrition was Gujarat. And he wrote this in his by his own admission. He wrote this rebuttal. It went to the PMO and somehow reached then Gujarat CM Narendra Modi. Mr. Modi called him and spoke to speak about the report. He took time. He went to meet Narendra Modi. What was supposed to be, say, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, lasted for almost 3 hours. So Prashant gets close to the Prime Minister in his first meeting itself, where they sort of connect. And Mr. Modi offers him a job and tells him that instead of sitting outside and critiquing what people are doing, why don't you help us come in and join the development process? Mind you, at this time, Chief Minister Modi, today Prime Minister Modi, that time Chief Minister Modi, already had multiple PR agencies working for him. After the 2002 Godhra train burning, followed by the Ahmedabad riots and anti-Muslim pogrom, the Prime Minister, then Chief Minister, had a lot of bad press which needed correction. So he had got a lot of agencies which sort of tried to correct his image and tried to work on the media, who was uh, being very, very harsh on him then. But anyway, Prashant joins Mr. Modi in 2012, where he leaves his job, and just before the Gujarat 2012 elections. One by one, he starts getting closer to the administration and starts taking things to do. So, first, he works on malnutrition, first, he works on data. Then he starts working on speeches. There was a speech that Mr. Modi gave to Tughlaq magazine in 2012, if I'm not wrong. This was a speech to Tughlaq magazine. Tughlaq magazine used to be run by the late Cho Ramaswamy, who was a good friend of Narendra Modi's. And Narendra Modi used to be called to a lot of Tughlaq's annual days and a lot of Tughlaq's events as a speaker. He gave a speech there, which Prashant had written for him, where he said that you have written speeches for people when you were working with the UN, where you were working in West Africa. Why don't you try writing me a speech? And he wrote an English speech for Prime Minister Modi, and that's available on the internet, by the way. You can just YouTube, you can check out on YouTube, Narendra Modi Tughlaq 2011 2012. You'll get the speech that I'm talking about. He wrote this, it was a hit, and the Prime Minister really liked it. So he started giving him more work, speech related work. After that, he started giving him survey related work, considering that Prashant had worked with data before. After that, as Prashant started taking up more survey related work also, he started taking up more communication or election related work. This snowballed one after the other, and by 2014, Prashant Kishor was leading one part of Narendra Modi's campaign. So this was the part which was to do more with innovative communication strategy. So not your conventional cadre-based communication strategy. That, of course, was headed by Amit Shah and the BJP, entire BJP plus RSS plus whole Sangh Parivar machinery with their boots on the ground, with their large sort of spread in urban India to a large extent. BJP performs even today very well in the urban sphere, by the way, particularly in North India. So, anyway, coming back, Prashant started doing work for him. He set up something called CAG. This is called Citizens for Accountable Governance. CAG eventually, after the election, would go on to become what you know today as I-PAC, Indian Political Action Committee. So, Prashant sets up CAG. He creates an organization where he will get people from all walks of life, particularly educated white collar people who are traditionally away from politics, from conventional politics, and especially electoral politics. So you're talking about professionals, chartered accountants, doctors, lawyers, people from IT, people who are returning to the country from abroad after a successful career there in whatever field, to sort of join politics and to work on the campaign and to help and sort of work in whatever capacity that they can. He helped head programs like Chai Pe Charcha. If you remember in 2014, that was quite big. Narendra Modi was going to colleges, doing huge convention center sort of events in urban centers and getting a very good response in his Chai Pe Charcha. I think he also did a lot of trips of chai shops because he was playing on the chai wala image, if you remember, something which nobody talks about now, funnily. However, Narendra Modi, of course, wins by a landslide. BJP forms a full majority government. By his own admission, he fell out with the prime minister because he wanted to create a parallel ecosystem of people inside the government and all, which, if you ask me, sound like fantastical ideas and something that cannot be done because the government is a system that is in place for many decades, and it is much larger than one person's ideas. It is a system. It's much bigger than a fantastical idea of somebody who thinks they know a little bit more and they can disrupt the entire system. So, anyway, Prashant wanted to create a parallel bureaucracy or something of the kind, which ultimately didn't work. So, he went to Bihar. He worked with Lalu and Nitish for the Mahabhargat campaign against the BJP. And he had some success here. He has claimed that he has also played a part in bringing Lalu and Nitish together. Now, again, Lalu Yadav and Nitish Kumar have been friends and have a relationship for give or take 50 years now, from when they've both been in politics. They've both in taken turns to rule Bihar and to represent Bihar in the center in various ministries in various places. They've also run the same ministry. Nitish Kumar has been the railway minister. Lalu Yadav has also been the railway minister. Nitish Kumar has been deputy speaker. They've both been chief minister multiple times. So I don't know what truth there is to those claims of Prashant Kishor. But anyway, he has the gall to claim it on national media and it hasn't been refuted yet. However, so he does this, and Lalu Yadav and Nitish Kumar actually defeat Narendra Modi's wave. After the 2014 elections, the first elections that happened were Maharashtra, Haryana. In Maharashtra and Haryana, the BJP swept. The BJP did 122 seats in Maharashtra in 2014 on its own, which is crazy. Which is coupled with the Shiv Sena's 60 odd seats, their front was at 180. However, they did not form the government together even in 2014, which not a lot of people know, by the way, and which is something that we will address in a later episode. But anyway, so in this, during the Modi wave, the BJP got defeated in Bihar. And here Prashant did do a lot of interesting work. There is one campaign I remember in particular that he had mentioned, and which was an interesting campaign, which was all over the media as well. It was called Nitish Ke Saath Nischay, where they made a 7 point program for Nitish Kumar, where they took him as the CM face to the government. Though he was an incumbent chief minister, they took him as the same face to the people, and they said that these are 7 points, the seven very specific points where they will work, which they will work on. So different stratas of society, their issues are addressed, and these were primary issues which a lot of people were facing. One of those, which was very interesting, was naliyon ka pakkikaran, which is cementing of your drains, right, of open drains. And this is very interesting considering that it was in opposition to Narendra Modi's campaign at that time in Bihar, which was all about 1 lakh crore ka package, 2 lakh crore ka package. PK had a very interesting thing to say, which was that in Bihar, most people have not even seen 1 lakh rupees. So when you say 1 lakh crore, it's something that they cannot visualize at all. However, when you say Naliyo ka Pakkikaran, it's something that connects with them because it's a problem that they deal with daily. It's a public health issue. It stinks. It looks bad. And there are hundreds of problems that are created because of that: flooding, clogging, all of it, sewage as a whole. So here in Bihar, he had good success. After that, he went party hopping, where he went to different parties and worked with different people. He worked with the Congress in Punjab and in Uttar Pradesh. In Punjab, he worked with Captain Amrinder Singh, who was also known very well in Punjab at that time in 2017. And Captain Amrinder Singh had has a lot of personal charisma, and at that time had a lot of pull with the voters as an individual, as a single vote asking block, right? Just captain himself, regardless of the party. Plus, he was dealing with a horrific 10-year rule of the Badal family, which is the Shiromani Akali Dal, who runs the Shiromani Akali Dal in Punjab. So there was 10 years of anti-incumbency, which was building up in the people, and a lot of resentment with the drug problem, with the agricultural distress, everything. So Prashant worked with Captain, where he got success, where Captain won, and he overthrew the Badal government and lodged his own government, the Congress government in Punjab. But he had a disastrous performance. Prashant had a disastrous performance working with Akhilesh and Rahul in 2017, where he was trying to work with the Congress originally, and the Congress was projecting Sheila Dikshit, if you remember, in 2017 in UP as a chief ministerial face, or as someone who was sort of leading the campaign after her loss in Delhi in Uttar Pradesh, because she had a good name, she had a clean face, and the Congress felt that she was someone who could fit the bill to sort of get them votes and revive a dying party in the state. Akhilesh Yadav was the incumbent chief minister then, and something happened where they got into an alliance in 2017. There is an interview of Sheila Dikshit with Veer Sanghvi on a show Virtuosity, I think, if I'm not wrong, where she said that the alliance came as a surprise to even her. And mind you, she was supposed to be the one who was leading the campaign in Uttar Pradesh. So the alliance with Samajwadi Party came as a surprise to Sheila Dikshit as well, where she was sort of wondering now what to do, because once they get into an alliance, that too with the incumbent party in power, the number of seats that they're going to contest are going to be cut down to a great extent. They won't know which seats they'll get, and it has to obviously very clearly be contested on Akhilesh Yadav's face, because he is the bigger partner in the alliance. Now, Prashant, of course, worked with them, and he modified his campaign where he made it UP ke ladke. This was during a time when he was running I-PAC, which is the Indian Political Action Committee. They made a campaign called UP ke ladke in 2017, where they tried to position Rahul Gandhi and Akhilesh Yadav as UP ke ladke. But however, I think that what they did not understand is that UP is such a large state. There are so many parts of the state. There are so many castes, so many subcastes, so many identities inside the state. There is a large Hindu segment. There is the Hindu majority. There is a sizable Muslim population. Inside the Hindu majority, there is a large Dalit component. There is a large upper caste component. UP is the state that has, I think, the largest number of upper castes in percentage. Around 18 to 20% of Uttar Pradesh is forward castes. So it's quite complicated in that sense, and there are many identities. So a regional identity like UP ke ladke probably won't work. However, this campaign failed, and the Congress was reduced to 7 seats or 4 seats, if I'm not wrong, and single digits basically. Yogi Adityanath became the chief minister of UP, and the BJP won 304 seats in a 400-member assembly. Even the Samajwadi Party was reduced to 50 or 40 odd seats, and the BSP was completely wiped out. They weren't even a contender in the game. Now, after this loss, again, Prashant goes back to politics. Now, this is actually, I shouldn't say goes back to politics. Prashant joins politics officially for the first time, okay, in 2018. He goes to Nitish Kumar and joins as a vice president in the JDU. He joins and he creates, once he joins the JDU, he creates a parallel organization inside the JDU where he says that he's going to help young people get into politics, people who don't have any background. Basically, a cadre expansion program for the JDU, like membership drives that the Congress or the BJP does, but slightly more sophisticated and with a focus on getting young people with no political background into smaller posts of power. So, this is a ward adhyaksh or a nagar adhyaksh or a gram panchayat samiti sadasya, right? All of those, like a mukhiya, a sarpanch. He launches this platform and then claims in one of his YouTube video interactions that he has got over 15 lakh people who have written to him, not just from Bihar, but from also neighboring states, who are interested in joining politics at the ground level. He does a lot of these programs where he's addressing young people across villages, across different districts of the state, where he tells them that the parameters that they should look at while joining politics, saying you need to have one small income in place. You need to plan where you want to enter politics from. You need to finalize your location. Is it from the place you live in? Is it from the place that you originally belong to? A lot of all of that stuff. Now, what happens is he has a fallout with Nitish Kumar. So this is around 2019, post the elections. They Nitish Kumar, the JDU contest the elections with the BJP, where they both win a large number of seats. If I'm not wrong, JDU won 17 or 18 seats in the Lok Sabha from Bihar, which is almost all the seats that they contested. Leave a couple, and because of this, they continue to stick in power and they stick with the BJP. And the JDU does something which Prashant doesn't like, which is speak in support of the Citizenship Amendment Bill. The Citizenship Amendment Bill protest started shortly after 2019, and the Narendra Modi government had taken quite a hard stance on it before sort of withdrawing it, which is the CAG, which is the Citizenship Amendment Bill plus the NRC, which they wanted to do. Amit Shah's favorite, chronology samajiye. Now, because of Nitish Kumar's support to this, Prashant sort of gets um, angry and has a fallout, a very public fallout, where he writes on Twitter saying, "I congratulate Nitish Kumar for being the chief minister, of doing anything needed to be the chief minister of Bihar and continue holding on to his seat. But I cannot work with such a person who has no moral stand and who does not have a spine and who's ready to change his positions also that easily. And whatever, he leaves." Now, once he leaves, he starts party hopping again, where he works with more parties. So he works with, that time he had also worked with Jagan Mohan Reddy, which is in 2019. He told everyone that he has left the space once he had joined politics, but he maintained that he had one client in Jagan Mohan Reddy, which he wanted to continue, whom he wanted to continue working with. Jagan Mohan Reddy won a landslide in 2019. He lost again in 2024, which is a different story. Now he worked with them, he worked with the DMK, then he worked with Mamata Banerjee, which the whole country saw, where he sort of managed to hog a lot of space in mainstream media, especially Hindi and English media, even if not regional media in West Bengal itself, because of course maybe he doesn't speak Bengali, but he managed to hog a lot of space in the mainstream media, in newspapers, where he was sort of positioned as this man who is a miracle election operator, etc., right, working for the TMC and taking all the decisions himself. Now what happened is the TMC won. They defeated the onslaught of the BJP. I won't call it an election campaign. It was an onslaught. It was not just the BJP's election campaign. It was the BJP plus the entire central cabinet, plus their allies, plus crazy money and muscle power, including even cadres from all the neighboring states, from Jharkhand, from Bihar, from other places who are coming into West Bengal to campaign to fight the TMC's own political machine. The TMC won. Prashant Kishor again announced that he's going to leave this political consulting space. And I'm constantly telling you this because I'm going to come to a couple of stories later which shows that he actually never left the political consulting space and is very active in it even now. Now, through all this while, before he went back to Bihar, after the Bengal election, he went back to Bihar to do some work to start the Jan Suraj Yatra, where he has been where he walked for about 2 years and claims to have touched 5,000 villages and almost every district of Bihar. And He kept claiming that he's left the space, but it turns out he's not really left the space. Prashant has an organization called JSPT. It's the Jan Suraj Election Consulting Arm. And he also went to Tamil Nadu, where he said that he is openly supporting Vijay, TVK's Vijay. I'm talking about 2015, where he's openly supporting Vijay as the chief minister's candidate or whatever to take on the DMK. And there are reports that his organization, which is JSPT Consultants, is working there. JSPT has a LinkedIn page which says that it is Jan Suraj, where you can sort of go and apply. And he also takes up a lot of these paid consultants for his campaign in Bihar. Now, the interesting thing is that consistency has paid him well, which is the last 3 years in Bihar. He has walked for 2 years. He set up the Jan Suraj as an organization first. On 2nd October 2022, he launched Jan Suraj as a political party. No, 2023. This was 1 year of him walking in his Padyatra. He launched it as a political party in Patna. He had a lot of office bearers, everything. I will do another episode on his Jan Suraj movement because it's very interesting and it can serve as a blueprint. It's if it works, even if it doesn't work immediately, it can still serve as a blueprint for educated people in every state across the country, in every district, every city, to create their own political program and go out and get real political executive power as opposed to just going out and voting for the same 3 5 parties that we've been doing. In Maharashtra, where I live, we have 7 parties now. So seven in that case, in the case you live in Maharashtra, and 25 in case you live in Tamil Nadu. Anyway, now Prashant continues, starts his Jansuraj Yatra, and he goes all the way across Bihar on foot. He does 1 year, then sets up his party. He continues doing another year. He touches every village, doing 7 to 8 rallies in a day where he speaks to the villagers and saying more or less the same thing. He starts blaming the villagers while other politicians are trying to woo the villagers and tell them that it's not your fault, this and that. Prashant starts yelling at the villagers, saying ki you have brought this upon yourselves. You have voted on the basis of caste. You have voted on the basis of booze. You have voted on the basis of somebody paying you 6,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees in cash, and this is your fault. The issue is with you, and you are struggling today because you have gone out and voted for all of these people who have fooled you because they've sort of polarized you on caste, polarized you on religion. You need to vote for your children. You need to vote so we can create good education in Bihar, create good jobs in Bihar. While we create good jobs in Bihar, your children won't need to leave you. He's one person who has taken immigration, or palayan as it's called in Hindi, as a very serious and very tight election plank. This is very interesting because no other politician has hit so hard on palayan. Till now, the politics in Bihar was either social justice and then later with Nitish Kumar, social and financial security, right? Which is good administration in a way, which is social security, delivering social security through various schemes and various government programs. Now, what's happened is Prashant has made Palayan a large issue, and he has made education a large issue where Biharis are actually hoping that they can get good schools, that they can have factories, that they can have jobs inside their state as well, and they don't need to go out to find work, to work on measly salaries, where old people live in the villages alone without any real social security, and their children are working outside the state for small salaries, in largely labor intensive jobs, and still managing to send some money home so their parents can be at peace, their wives can be at peace. Now, this has become an important issue, and you might ask why I'm saying that people are buying into it. It's because I watched the CSDS, not the CSDS, the C voter survey head, who is Yashwant Deshmukh, whom also I've got a different opinion on, but who said that according to his survey, Prashant's approval rating has gone from about 8 or 10% in February this year to over 22% in August this year. We are in October now, and I feel, if I'm not wrong, it has gone even higher. His approval rating for the chief minister's post, mind you, where he is cutting into both Tejashwi Yadav as well as Nitish Kumar. A lot of election surveys are happening now where there are a lot of channels, a lot of YouTubers going down on the ground in Bihar and speaking to people. One place where Prashant's analysis seems lacking is Nitish Kumar does not seem as unpopular as people think he is. he still has popularity and he still enjoys the support of a sizable number of people across urban as well as rural belts, where they feel that he isn't a corrupt man, he's not personally corrupt, he's seen as an efficient administrator, and he's seen as somebody who is intelligent and who can manage the state. Well, he has been chief minister, give or take, for nearly 20 years now. So plus minus 20 years. Now, it'll be interesting to see how Prashant sort of comes up, because he's now, as I started this, the way I started this video is Prashant did a press conference where he has disclosed all of his earnings. He always said that he worked for free. He always said that he never charged any fees. But now he has turned all of that on its head. He has disclosed his earnings to be 241 crores, and he has said that he has donated his own 98.5 crores. One takeaway from this is that political consulting pays very well. So if you're studying, if you are a young person, consider political consulting as an important field. However, do note that Prashant Kishor is the Mukesh Ambani of this field. He is the best in the business. Not the Mukesh Ambani, the Shah Rukh Khan of this field. So you're going to have to work quite hard to make your mark in the field itself. But it's interesting to see that a person who has provided services and continues to provide services to other people. Prashant also says now that he also said in the press conference that he consults for companies, where he charged 11 crores for a product launch from a company which is an infrastructure and engineering company, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, Prashant Kishore charged 11 crores for a 2-hour meeting, a company that works in the infrastructure space and does and help them with a product launch. I think that's the most any consultant has been paid. So I think people in McKinsey and Bain and Company need to take note of the political consulting business and the consulting you can do for private firms after you know every political party in the country personally and every party president personally. So it'll be interesting to see, however, that an educated person, someone who's not from a caste movement, someone who's not from any specific political school, which is, for example, there is a BJP school, a BJP RSS ABVP school, there is a Congress NSUI school. There are many schools of politics in every state. There are many universities of politics. In Maharashtra, we have the Shiv Sena School of Politics. We have the Sharad Pawar University of Politics, where a lot of leaders have started out there as small karyakartas and gone on to occupy huge positions of power, make, I mean, amass unbelievable amounts of power, unbelievable amounts of money, unbelievable amounts of resources, and also love of people across their lifetimes. So it's very interesting that Prashant isn't from an existing school, and I think if he does this right, he can create his own school. Whether it's good or bad is for you to decide. I'm just analyzing how this plays out. I feel that his real test is not in the Bihar elections. Prashant Kishor's real test is not the Bihar election, which is upcoming in 2025 November. His real test will be in 2026, where the state of Bihar goes to panchayat polls. That is where he will have to prove that he actually has a spread across rural Bihar. Bihar is 85% plus rural, mind you. 88% plus, if I'm not wrong. Only 11% of Bihar is urban. So to penetrate the Bihari electorate, one needs to have their spread deep in every village, in every block, making mukhias, sarpanchas, panchayat samiti sadasyas, all of that. And that is where Prashant Kishor's real test will come. So keep your eye on the 2026 panchayat poll, because that will be very interesting to see how Jan Suraj has fared and how deep it has penetrated. If they perform decently well there, and I would say come even at number 3, right? They have knocked it out of the stadium, and he is all set for power in 2029. Sorry, 2030. The elections will next be in 2030, if not in 2025. If he does win in 2025, nothing like it. But it seems difficult for them to come to power completely on their own, for the simple reason that that hasn't happened in Bihar since 1990. So if he does do it, he will be making history, and this will be something that will be written in Bihar's political history many years later, in our post-independence political history, when we look at Bihar. Because the last time one party won Bihar, it was Lalu Prasad Yadav in 1990 with his RJD, who put together a political program, who put together a caste calculation, and of course his own political mind. And he's seen as the original social engineer in Indian politics, where he created this calculation, ran a campaign, and managed to come to power all on his own without needing an alliance partner. However, he did get into an alliance at that point. But yes, so this will be interesting to watch. And keep your eyes on Prashant Kishor. Keep your eyes on political consulting as a career. Clearly, it can pay very well. 241 crores over the past 3 years is not bad at all. And McKinsey, Bain and Company, everyone take note, because I don't know if any of y'all have charged 11 crores for a 2 hour meeting. If you don't believe me, I'm not saying it. Go to YouTube and check out Prashant Kishor funding press conference. You will get a lot of interesting points to ponder over with your teams and your friends. Share this with someone who may like it, and follow us for more videos like this. And tell me in the comments what you want to know about. Tell me what you want me to talk about concerning Indian politics. I have a lot of things lined up. I want to speak about Maharashtra, which is a state I am from, which is a state that I feel I understand a little bit. I want to speak about Karnataka. I want to speak about the country's politics, national politics, and we'll also get into governance soon. But first, let's cover politics. So follow us, like us, share this with your friends, and tell us what you'd like to talk about. Like us to talk about. Thank you.